No, I haven't played Stanley Parable. Please enter my current time. Well, you're real close. Display settings, gaming access from the main menu. Okay. Begin. Press X. I like how that's it. That's funny.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the trophy?
Yes.
Click a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No, Nugget. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
You do not understand my devotion game.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this trophy to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment.
Ooh, this horse might actually be
all
good.
the way, no matter the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
He has low health, but he's pretty zooming. We'll go into the pit with the other good horses. He just can't jump. But that's fine.
Ooh,
Right?
Now, go click
He's
a few times on
fast.
door
Okay, so he's
437.
fast. I know you're fast, and I think you can jump too.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
This is so worth it.
Unsaddle you now.
Now, back to door number 437.
Okay, we're going. I'm going back.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
Where's the copy machine?
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
419's desk.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Okay.
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again! Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430. Yes! I did it!
I did it.
Wow, that felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far... come today.
That was so worth my time getting that trophy.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Go through
This
the
was
right
not
door.
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
It is, though.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
That's fair.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
You cannot stop me, game. I don't give a shit. Do you not expect my pure dedication? Alright, bet. I'm gonna play on my phone until you give me more dialogue. Okay, fine, I'll progress through the game.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
No. Fuck you.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Don't lie if you're lying right now. Stop. Off the cargo lift while it's in motion will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift.
Look, Stanley, I think... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Yay!
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Oh, fuck. I love it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Douglas, don't
Stanley decided to
unbelieve.
go up to his boss's
Do
office,
unbelievably
hoping he might
amazing.
find an
Oh.
answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No. Because you wouldn't have said that.
There was nothing here. No
Uh-huh.
choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, I gotta see what happens if I
Stanley
just...
came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stan.
What? Really?
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, fuck you.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to
Yes.
find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well,
Yes.
don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here.
No,
I
there's
haven't even
something
finished
here.
building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
Wow.
Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yes.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you
Yes.
not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
No.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Button.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door?
Button.
Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Okay. Ah.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
Go
So why
towards
don't
the
you
fire.
give 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective. Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Oh my god. I can't, dude. Oh, hey!
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's
Firewatch.
our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
I love it. By the way, I think this is a reference because if I remember in the Firewatch, from my playthrough a while ago, whoever the fuck says there's someone in my tower, and I think that's what this is referencing. That's funny.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
But that this game is really pretty and I love
It
it?
is. It's an open world game. Good
It
God,
is.
quickly block it off.
No. Aww.
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Okay.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
I like this game though. This game was fun when I played it.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Firewatch is so much fun. Oh, okay. Oh, Rocket League. Hell yeah.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any
Please.
possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Please tell me a ball will spawn.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this
Oh,
game
yeah.
sports ball? Stanley,
Yes.
I think it's sports ball. Oh, what
Yes, spawn the
fun.
ball.
We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Hell yeah. Eh. Hell yeah. It's like Rocket League all over again. Oh, hell yeah. I'm so good. Is it gonna
Are you
explode like
doing
Rocket
it?
League?
Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal
Oh, are you
pleasure,
gonna-
then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience.
Yes,
I'm
it
going to
does.
try
Spawn
that.
more
Here comes another
balls.
ball.
Hell yeah, more
Yes.
balls.
Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
Balls. Oh, there's more balls. Balls. Why am I so short? I hate how short Stanley is.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun?
Yes.
Is this a real video game?
Yes.
Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's
No.
right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is
Aw.
my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley.
You're an
Besides,
asshole.
you'll need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without
But-
rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I am structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you'd like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best.
I do.
Take care, Stanley.
Bye.
Hold on. What are you doing?
I'm being smart. You can't stop me. You
Stanley,
thought
don't
you
do that. I
could.
can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Okay, bye. Oh. Just Gmod? Half-Life? Something? Superliminal? Definitely looks like Gmod. We don't have a crowbar though. Gmod or Half-Life from basically the same game. Oh.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Can you though? Oh. Where are we teleporting now? Oh, okay. Fine, I'll stop fucking
All of
around.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Wow.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Why is 104 fired? And 601?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own
601
life in someone
and
else's
104.
control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and...
Did it.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Hey, beat the game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes.
Left, right,
I've got
left,
it now.
right, up,
This story
up,
is
down. Oh, wait.
absolutely, definitely this way.
Ah. Up, down, left, right, BA.
No,
Oh.
no. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Oh, okay. Fuck you.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you
No.
move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story. I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
Maybe.
I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Bell.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be
It is-
remembering this wrong.
It
It's
is,
possible
in
the
fact,
story is
worse.
back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes.
The
No,
story.
wait, never
What?
mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Oh.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations!
I
I
won.
know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay.
All right,
Ah,
I've got a solution.
the
This time, to
Stanley
make sure we
Parable
don't get
Adventure
lost,
Line.
I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Wow. What if I don't want to do that?
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Okay. Someone playing solitaire.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Okay.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
I would concur.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this
Wow.
fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely.
I'm looking
and
at
remember
it
carefully.
really
You won't want
hard.
to miss anything.
Oh my god, this game.
Wait, what? We're back at the office?
Uh.
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Line.
Oh, no,
we're back- we're
no,
back
not
here.
Again, Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh. I think I broke it.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget
Aw.
the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're
You know
intelligent
what?
people, right? Why
Yeah.
can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh, it sounds like a really good idea. Let's go.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
Yeah,
No
I would
lines
like
or
to as
monitor
well.
rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. We should be fine.
I like the trademark occasionally. That's really funny.
A choice. We get to make a decision. From here,
Yay.
the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the
are
counter-inverted
you talking
reverse
about?
door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
The right door. The confusing
What's
ending.
this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is?
For
It's all
17
one
minutes.
giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game
For a long
eight
time.
times?
8 times. There's
really
no
how
longer an
all this
office,
goes?
simply black space, wander
all
of blackness, find a bookstore,
determined?
get bored and leave,
So
narrator
now,
starts
according to the
restarts the
schedule,
game.
I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
Whoa.
Who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Yeah,
And the timer stopped? Does that
it
mean...
did stop.
Did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
I think so.
Whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
These are all very
So-
solid questions.
Okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the
open the
destination or
monitor.
the journey. Though they're
Discover
always
two
saying that life is
doors.
about the
Now
journey
has a
and
maze.
not the destination.
Wandering
So
there,
I hope
starts
that's where we
again.
are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
And-
Well, in the
Get up and
meantime,
go.
if you...
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct?
Oh, okay. We done? I guess so. Where'd the narrator go? Oh no.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping him coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh, I'm floating.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Huh? Ah.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
No. I've just
This
casually
is
like the
story
greatest
of a
game
woman
ever.
named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oh, holy shit. I love this game. This game is so good. Oh, the boxes! I accepted the delivery, that's right. New
Oh.
content.
New content? What
Wow.
does that mean, new content?
I don't know. Let's find out. I'm as excited as you are. I love new content. Wow, new content.
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Wow.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Wow.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Wow.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Me too. Let's go.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
We just gotta let him cook, alright? It's fine. What? It's not going.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or up? Oh, there we go.
Oh,
All right,
oh.
finally, at long last, it's on to the new content.
Yay!
I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Let's go.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
I'm really excited about the content. Jump in a
Alright.
circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
I did it. Wow. Alright.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator.
Another
Stanley,
one.
I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's
Yeah.
just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new
That's it?
content.
No, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, Test
trophy, please ignore. I
What
saw
quality
that.
assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to
no.
such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend? Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you some... Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Wow, fuck you. Oh, the content door's closed. Alright, fine, I'll go into the vent. Okay, fine, I won't go into the vent.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I got a feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Elevator. Oh my god, this might be the greatest game ever. I love it. I like how the narrator's getting into it too. It's 100% worth my time. Ba-da. How long is this elevator ride? I don't know. Feel like I've been in here for 8 minutes. It's long as shit. Oh yeah. Ski up, bop, bop, boo, ska, bay, a bay, a boo. It's gotta end at some fucking point, right, I bitch. Don't really know, but this is really long. Do you realize this is gonna be a pain to edit into a real video that's not 3 hours long? Why the fuck is this elevator so long to ride? Now, I have been recording for 3 years. It's gotta end at some point. Oh. I just had to press a button. Well, I'm back here. Is this really for the song? I'm not doing it again. It's like 10 minutes I spent in there. It's legit for the song.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Hell yeah. Calming New Age music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Yay!
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Mm-hmm. Yes. My death. Ow.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected
Yay.
that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Yay! Aww.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Do it! Oh. Well, okay. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Nature paintings. That's where we started. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors, that was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added to and altered throughout development. Through the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Place of the opening section was important to get right. The corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors. It's a good time. The two doors. The set of the two doors was very difficult to... Oh my god. Holy shit. Pieces of the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once the room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it. An exploration of the contradictions this room posed. Filing cabinets. Office computers. These are the ones that we're on. The office. The buttons. A section of the sound used throughout the game. When buttons are pressed, each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and synthesized tone. Cool. Model design. Kevin Brighting is the narrator. Office clock. Boss's office. Screens from the development of the office. Cool. The lounge. Underground, an early version. The underground portion of the game.
See, Stanley walked through the green door. When Stanley came to the lift, he traveled upward to the power source at the top of the facility to end this injustice.
Kevin Brighting's the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from the early takes that were not used in the final game. That is really neat.
Stanley stood on.
So is there supposed to be a green door instead of like red and blue, like the Matrix? I bet they changed it because of that. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Countdown desk. One of the desks from the early version of the countdown ending. Oh, I didn't get this ending. Interesting. Freedom ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in the beta. I don't want to go through that door yet. Monitor. A monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down, with freedom above and a countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the two endings together instead. Funny. The countdown room. Oh, I was there. An early version of the countdown room. So you have a choice. Alright, that's neat. I never did the countdown ending, because I don't know how. Game design mock-up. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of the level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from the mock-up is still in the game. That's neat. The office, the lounge, early version of the lounge. The apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading you to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead you to a different ending. The cargo lift. The second version is functionally the same what is in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where a cargo lift would be stored. The cargo lift was also always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. This is a really cool room. The game is now paused. Begin the game. Oh, it's an escape. Yeah, escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized that this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. I can imagine why. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. The room represents the fourth version of the ending, and we went through it. Was complete. We thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. A screenshot of the Zending levers. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development. Each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one released back in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is repairing a new version of the Stanley Parable. Cool. Meeting room. Maintenance layout. To confession ending. Oh, interesting. First choice. The other room entrance would be hidden depending on how you entered. Oh, interesting. The maintenance layout. The flow of the hallways following the first 2 doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won. Which one is the simplest version? I think number 1 is supposed to be that. I don't know. That's really interesting. It's a really cool thing that I found, like the actual end room. I went through here. I think this is the only way I can go.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
I should have turned off my PlayStation. Alright. I didn't want to. How do you know what console I'm using, by the way? Oh, the vent! I never went in the vent!
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Okay. This is the last thing I'm gonna do.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
Wow.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone
2013.
remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember
Hey.
back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Don't play for 5 years. It's funny. Oh, wow. Yo, that's really cool. I never knew this game was nominee, like, a British Academy Award for story, debut game, and game innovation. That's awesome. Creator surprisingly down to earth. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. The dead ending. Ah, fantastic art.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like
Wow.
this stunning triumph of
Do not
games
read any
journalism,
reviews except
10 out
this
of
one.
10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Aww. Memory Zone maintenance. Stanley Parable. The original remake. Person of the year, on, off. Bunch of buttons. Whoa. Oh, it's like how they built the Stanley Parable room. The end is never here. Literally anything. People play games because of what they can do inside them. And your game is very good at letting them know they can't do anything. Literally anything.
Here's another moving passage,
Funny.
this time from GameSpot.com.
Wow, Source.
The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have
Is
it
this
all
supposed
over
to be
again.
like... Is this supposed to be a meta commentary on how like modern games and devs are handled? Because if so, I kind of enjoy it.
Wait,
Because
hang on.
it's
I
very
don't recall
true.
this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no! Oh God, no, Stanley! It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the
Oh,
extremely
no.
popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine.
no,
what's
is it
being
the
collected
Steam
down
reviews?
here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
It is the Steam reviews.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny.
Unfunny.
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
More negative Steam reviews. There's a lot of negative Steam reviews just everywhere, lying around. Oh, there's a positive one.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh,
How's
goodness.
this game
This is actually
preachy?
quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's
I can
dialogue
actually see
as
how
being
it would.
rather terse to
I
begin
can
with.
actually
You can't
see
know
how
much
you can.
fluff I cut from the game.
say it's
It
preachy?
feels light and airy as it. Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear.
Is this the review
What an
end?
awful memory to have to hold on to.
Is this a?
These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel
Is this a
like a
review ending?
failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as... What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record.
Oh.
Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
This is the review ending. I don't want to press it. Alright.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Why has it been 12
You've
hours?
just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sick. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and...
Uh-oh.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth.
The hell is going on? This game is a massive meta commentary, and I kind of like it. Like, this game is really good.
Never the end is 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 never the end is...
Well, water's starting to get through. Oh. Ooh, pretty. Whoa. The hell happened? What is that? Let me skip, thank you. Oh. Okay. Oh my god. What the hell happened? Did Fallout happen? Was it just infinite nuclear war? Oh god. Everyone's dead. No. Well, shit. Oh. And we're back here. This game is amazing. This game has, like, the best meta commentary in a game I've ever seen. Like, it's actually really fun. I like it. You are playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I fucking love this game. This game is really fun. It's fun to just kind of sit down and play. It's really good. It has like really interesting meta commentary about everything, and I really do appreciate that. So, I highly recommend the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. It's currently free for the monthly game on PlayStation, so make sure to go check it out if you're ever curious and you have the extra storage space. Download the Stanley Parable. Yeah, that's it. So thank everybody so much for watching this very long gameplay. I'm probably gonna keep playing this game on and off throughout the years until I 100% it, because I'm probably going to, because unironically, this game is really fun and I like it. So yeah, that's it. Peace. Bye.